Here's your pro tip right here. I like steak and biscuits the next morning more than I like steak the night before.
That's Robert. When it comes to food, this man has no equal. He's been in the restaurant business for over 4 decades, written 11 books, written a weekly syndicated newspaper column for over 20 years. He even won a Southeastern Emmy for his work as a producer on the Walter Anderson documentary. Founded the nonprofit Extra Table to feed food insecure Mississippians. A founder of the Independent Restaurant Coalition. Oh yeah, and he's the co-chair of the Alzheimer's Association of Mississippi. You get it. He's busy. Aside from all that, he'll tell you his most important job title is dad.
Most important job title I have is dad.
See? I told you. I don't know if you know this, but this is a race. Oh, cool, that's me. My name's Drew Wooton. I'm a musician, content creator, and push-ups are my passion. I grew up in the South, but my upbringing was anything but Southern. Maybe it's because my mom's a Yankee. I don't know. From a young age, I got to see the South for what it really is. A beautiful place that's often misunderstood. The South has so much more to offer than the mainstream narrative would have you believe. And what better way to prove it than over a well-cooked meal at one of the hidden gems of the Pine Belt, Doninelli's on Highway 49 South. This is the New South. All right, Doninelli.
Yeah.
Been talking about this for a minute.
I love this place. I come a lot of times, it's almost once a week.
Really?
I love a joint. This is me. I mean, this is 100%. I'm all about the food. You know, I owned a fine dining restaurant for 30-something years. You got to have all components in that, but here, it's just about the food.
Yeah.
And there, look.
Oh my gosh.
Ribs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
So, yeah. I've eaten ribs all over the South.
Yeah.
All over the South. My favorite ribs, I'm talking about whether it's Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama. These are my favorite ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Let me give you the Doninelli's breakdown.
Yeah, teach me.
Here's your plate.
Okay.
That's your plate for ribs.
All right.
All right? Yeah. They don't bring you a plate. You eat on the paper towel. Here's your napkin.
Got it.
All right, got it? All right. We ordered steak.
Yeah.
This is our appetizer.
Okay.
Just the regular ribs. He smokes over pecan wood, no artificial fuel. It's the real deal. So you're gonna get a salad. Mm-hmm. They have 3 dressings, ranch, ranch, and ranch. That's it.
Yeah.
They said, you can call it whatever you want, but it's gonna taste like ranch. And it's gonna come in a styrofoam bowl. Oh man, these ribs, I'm just gonna tell you.
All right.
So they do steaks, tuna, and ribs. Mm-hmm. And most of the good joints like this, that's what they feature, just 2 or 3 things. There's nothing fancy. And that's what I was saying earlier. A place like this, there's the sauce. Got to have some of that. It's all about the food. You know, the atmosphere is what it is.
Right.
I don't know how many thousands of dollars on the wall.
Yeah.
I can tell these ribs are going to be really good tonight.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. See? Real great. It's perfect.
That's the thing. We're like on the side of Highway 49.
Yeah.
You would never.
North Gate of Camp Shelby.
What makes good ribs?
Well, number one, you get the right pork. And we're all pork ribs around here. If you're in Texas, you know it's beef. Beef brisket is big. You got to season it right. And to be legit, you need to smoke it over wood, no artificial fuel, no butane or propane or gas.
Right.
So, I mean, this is all just fire and smoke and pecan wood. It gets perfect bark. I mean, it's moist. You can see moisture in there.
Yeah.
You see that? So they're not overcooked.
Right.
They're not dry. Nothing worse than a dry rib.
Yeah.
The sauce has to be good. These are dry ribs. These would be considered dry rub ribs. They're not served slathered with a lot of sauce, and that's my kind of thing. I want to put my own sauce on there. And to me, and a lot of people do that, a lot of people cook. They go ahead towards the end, they put sauce on and then cook it in there. I'm just not a fan of that.
Toast is good too. Do you get the onions involved? Or is that just like is that a garnish?
No, most people have a raw onion.
Yeah, this is good.
I mean, it's just juicy. It still sticks to the bone enough to where in competition that would work. A lot of times people want that falls off the bone type, but really you don't want that. You want it to stick a little bit and to be tender. I mean, it's like you can't stop eating them, man. They're so good.
Yeah, I know we have steak coming, but
Yeah, I know.
goodness,
Keep going.
it's so good. All right, I gotta try a pepper. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, these ribs are great. I love the atmosphere too. I have such fond memories of this place. You know, this was the first place, my dad's a musician.
Yeah.
First place he ever played a gig as far as I remember.
Like ever or first in Hattiesburg?
I think first in Hattiesburg. He'd come out here with his steel drums, and I remember vividly moving gear in the back, on the back
As a
patio.
kid?
Yeah, just thinking you gotta move gear. This is what everybody does.
That's got to be a cool memory. So really, it opened mainly as a bar. And out back where the bands were back in the, I guess it was early 90s, I'm going to say. You know, we would come out here and listen to live music a lot.
Yeah.
Jill and I would. And then sometime they really kind of morphed more into a restaurant than a bar. I can tell you the exact date because it's right here. Looks like May of 2006, but I think it's November of 2006.
Oh, that's you and
Yeah. Robert Holloman and Harrison.
your kiddos.
So my kids would have been 5 and 9. And we came out here and Jill said, "You're not going to take them to a bar."
Right.
It was after Katrina and all the hotel rooms were booked in Hattiesburg, as you remember, for like 2 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat in my places because we were so busy, and it was like, I'm not going to go in there and add to the, stress of the staff. And I'm sitting there and people are looking at me like, well, the owner's here, but I'm having to wait for a table. So it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And so I said, no, I'm going to take the kids out. And we came and we had an awesome meal. It took us about, 10, 12 minutes to drive out here. We ate quickly. We're back by the time, all the other places were having like an hour wait and stuff. And it's that night, that's the dollar. But we're all over this wall. That's my wife's handwriting. That's Jill. That says Robert, November 28th. There's a Holloman over there. My Italian friends, when they come to visit, we bring them here. This is fun.
It's almost like a little diary or journal. Well, it's funny how it's the power of food. It doesn't really matter necessarily. This is an aesthetic, but it's just making the most out of what you have and just having good menu items.
It's a joint. Every year in December, we have a Christmas party for our staff, and you clean your rib bones way better than I do. Yours look like those cartoon fish where it's a skeleton, there's nothing left. People are going to watch this and go, man, he leaves too much meat on the bone.
It's good manners, right?
You're right. You're better. But we have a big Christmas party every year for everybody that works at the restaurant, and they bring a significant other. It started, I just took the managers to my house.
Yeah.
We're like 4.
Yeah.
Cooked dinner for them, and then a couple of years into it, we'd let them invite their significant other. And then it got too big to do at my house. And so we started coming here. And now I take all the managers out before the Christmas party, and there'll be about 30 of us in here on a Sunday night when they're closed. I pass out Christmas bonuses to the managers and then we go to the party. And this is what we have. We have ribs as an appetizer and ribeyes. If I tried to change that manager meal to, any other place, they'd revolt.
Yeah, bad for morale if you do that.
Though it almost burned down one night.
What?
It was funny. I was looking at putting a wood-burning grill in the restaurant. And so all my chefs were back there looking, and we're asking them, how often you have to feed it and blah, 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 and all this. And then I was going out of town the next day, and I was out in the parking lot with one of my managers giving them instructions about the week I was going to be gone or whatever. And all of a sudden I saw the managers just start, and their, spouses piling out the door, just running, and smoke billowing out. I'm like, oh crap, it's on fire.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I see Mike, who's the manager here, cooks the ribs and grills the steaks. He's on the roof with a hose. This thing, this is like kindling. This wood is old.
Yeah.
It's been here for a long time. It would go up like that.
Yeah.
And there was fire. I passed out bonuses in the parking lot, and we just didn't have a meal that year. But what happened is somebody had come out here, some electrician, and wired something, and they just went up through the hood. In an electrical wire, you've got that rubber coating on a wire. Yeah. Well, it got hot and melted, and so then you've got grease going up the hood in this just electrical wire, and it hit the metal on the hood and sparked, and the thing's on fire, but it didn't burn down. It lived.
It definitely looks like it survived a lot, I always wonder, you see a place like this too, stories like that, how many memories people have made here, and that's what's so cool about sitting down and sharing a meal. Salad, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's it.
This feels very Southern,
Huh. The great thing about it is a place like this, we're across from the north gate of Camp Shelby, which I think is the largest National Guard base in the country. They do a lot of different training here. All the drone training now and National Guard and stuff is done here. And so you've got soldiers that come here from all over the country.
Yeah.
And there's really no place to eat out this far. They send buses into town when the camp's full and stuff, but I mean, there are always soldiers in here.
Yeah.
And I love that. There's a big outdoor area out there, and on weekends there's live music. It's usually a guy and a guitar. They don't do as many bands as they did back in those early days when your dad was playing here. And
well, I think that's why it's cool is like I talk a lot about going and supporting live music, and as a musician, it became a really big part of my life.
Yeah.
But it kind of started here in a lot of ways, you know.
So you played in bands too, though, didn't you?
I played in a lot of bands, you know, growing up.
Did you play regular kit?
I played, yeah, drum set. Well, it's because my dad played steel drums and sang and needed a drummer, and kind of trained me up, and that was my job in high school. It's a pretty cool job. I worked in the kitchen, I made sandwiches, and then I would gig on the weekends. So that's what I did. So yeah, it wasn't bad living.
What kitchen?
Oh, I worked at McAllister's for a while, and so yeah, that's why I'm not too great at dicing an onion, but I can slather honey mustard on a hoagie, you know.
Club sandwich.
Yeah.
I like that club sandwich.
That club cut's hard at first.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta
have a good serrated knife.
Gotta work at it for sure.
You want to take those home?
Oh yeah, for
I'm
sure.
saving room.
Yeah.
Aren't they good though? Man, those are meaty ribs.
I like how you think though. This is an appetizer I can get on board with. A full rack of ribs.
Look. Look how juicy. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're looking for right there.
Delicious.
It's good bark. I mean, he nails it. And really, it's more of a, people consider this a steak joint. I come across a lot of people that never order the ribs.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you're missing out.
Yeah. Can't beat their meat. That was the neon sign out front.
That's what they say.
Hilarious.
I won't take the word for it.
Yeah, I believe you.
You need another napkin?
Yes.
Here we go.
Here we go. Steak. Oh my gosh.
Can I get you guys anything else right now?
I think
You good?
we're good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. All right. So you got, this is a ribeye.
Ribeye, 12-ounce ribeye. I think they went a little big tonight. That'll work. I'm gonna put my bread on the bread plate here.
Bread plate?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning all about the etiquette of Doninelli.
There is no etiquette at Donanelle's. Here's the day. Put a big slab of butter in the baked potato, and you get the packet. I went for fries. They don't have salt. I need to salt them. You want my beef? Here's my beef.
All right, here, let's hear it.
House recipe ketchup.
Yeah. No?
No, don't do the house recipe ketchup. You got to go on ketchup. You got to go name brand. Makes a difference. My brother and I, when we grew up, we fought. I'm a Hunt's guy. He's a Heinz guy.
Yeah.
He swears by it. But I'll tell you, if you do a blind taste test, Hunt's is gonna win.
I grew up on Hunt's.
Yeah, Hunt's is good stuff. So here's the deal. On a ribeye, this cap right here, you see right there,
Yeah.
is called the decal or the spinalis.
Right?
A whole lip-on ribeye is like this, and that spinalis or that decal is, you know, it's where it's the most marbled part
Right.
of that cut. Some people want to eat the steak and save the spinalis for last. My theory is you eat the spinalis first and you eat the decal first, because what if you get full?
Right.
If you get full on the center part and then you didn't have enough room.
You want the best part.
Yeah. So
It's like eating the dong fong first. Just go.
they do a good job on steak and ribs. This is good.
Oh man, that is delicious. The seasoning's good too.
So here's the deal. Bread and potatoes. If you had to give up one,
Ooh,
which one would you give up?
that's tough. I would have to give up.
Because then you're talking about toast and biscuits and French bread, all of those things, but you're also, on the other hand, talking about French fries, baked potatoes, mashed potatoes.
I can't really give up fries. And I have like a very complex relationship with gluten, so I would have to give up bread. I think I could do it. I've given up bread actually for maybe like 6 months. I had no bread.
Really?
Yeah. I was gonna go 4 weeks, and everybody's like, you're insane. I was like, yeah, I know that. But and then I went 6 months. I felt pretty good, but I don't know if I could give up potatoes. Fries are so good. Yeah, you can also taste that this was cooked over open flame,
Yeah.
you know? Got that charcoal taste to it.
Yeah, that carbon, that's where the flavor comes in. And here's the deal, I'm a medium rare plus.
Medium rare plus.
When I was a kid, I ate rare, like really raw rare, and that's actually almost rare right there.
That's not typical of a kid, though. Most kids.
Yeah, my brother and I, man, we ate it really rare.
Yeah.
I'll go medium rare all day long. I can't go medium. Medium's too much for me. But if you can hit that sweet spot, right in the decal here, the spinalis was medium rare plus. Perfect. I can still eat rare. I don't mind.
I like rare when you're at a place like this where you can trust them. You know, and you know the meat's like a good quality cut. You can go rare. Yeah, this is perfect.
If it's choice beef, I go with ribeye. If it's prime, I go strip. And every once in a while, I'll spring for that A5 Wagyu.
I love a good dry aged strip. So who is the chef here that does all this ribs and steak?
Mike Rose is his name. He starts boiling crawfish. He's really good.
Yeah.
He boils perfect crawfish, perfect spice, perfectly cooked. The guy that started this was a man named Donald Gill. And when I was a little kid, he married my next door neighbor, the daughter of my neighbors. And I went to the wedding. I think it's the first wedding I ever went to when I was a kid. I was probably 6 or something. And then they got divorced and he moved out here and remarried a lady named Ellen. And he's Don and she's Ellen, and that's where Doninelli's came from. And they really just opened a bar. I mean, they lived next door in a house right on the highway. Mm-hmm. Early on, they would do, if you came in here with a tie, they'd cut the tie off and, you know, do the deal. And that was like the early 90s, I guess. Then it just morphed into a restaurant. Her daughter, Andy, started working here. Mm-hmm. She married a guy named Mike. After Don died, Mike runs the place. Dude, that's a huge bite. I'm going to have to give you the Heimlich maneuver in a minute.
So good. So good.
You're tearing it up.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know this, but this is a race.
Oh, well,
I did not. I didn't say.
No. Any other time I eat really, really fast,
yeah,
I can smoke you in a race eating. But tonight, this is almost all I'm going to eat because I'm so full already.
Yeah.
But I'm going to take that home. Steak and biscuits tomorrow morning.
I enjoy food quickly.
Well, I do too. Look.
I have a hard time savoring it and just waiting.
No. We're gonna get along great.
I want to crush it.
I've been hearing my whole life. I eat too fast.
Yeah. Mine goes back to childhood. The 4th grade, we didn't have recess. First time, no recess. The faster you ate lunch, your leftover time in lunch was so that I learned real quick how to eat very quickly.
So now Mike and Andy run it. They're not married anymore, but they work together. He does all the ribs. He does the crawfish. He grills sometimes still. For years, he was the grill guy. Andy waits on tables. She kind of manages too. Their kids have worked here. So it's really it's a family-run place.
I didn't realize the family aspect still. The more I talk with you, I know food's important. But it's funny how all the relationships that are formed around it.
Yeah.
And that's wild. People meet each other and get married and have families over a restaurant.
Here's the deal. Unless you're a newlywed, there's nothing more we do. 3 times a day. We eat. You know, if you're like me, sometimes it's 4 times a day.
Unless you're a newlywed.
Yeah. So, you know, it's this thing. It's very biblical if you think about it. I mean, loaves and fishes and Last Supper and food is what brings us together. It's how we connect. Anybody watching this, if they think back to the best memories they have over the course of their life, somehow food was involved. Whether it was a birthday dinner with friends, they went out. It was a New Year's Eve thing. It was, in my case, going over to my grandmother's house after church when I was a kid. You know, I'm a 61-year-old guy. I still talk about that, how that left an impression on me.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, you know, my mom and other moms would go to the back door and yell supper, and everybody run inside and eat. You know, today mom goes to the back door, yells supper, and everybody hops in the minivan. Maybe good for restaurateurs like me.
Yeah.
But maybe not so good for the family sitting down and sharing a meal, you know? And here's the thing, I was chief among the sinners, dude. I mean, we had 2 kids when they were young, and you know, you got soccer and you got football and you got dance and you got all these things and cheerleading and you're running them all over and you don't have time. You know, you're also missing that sitting together as a family sharing a meal. And I don't remember how old the kids were, but there came a point in time where I said, you know, we got to stop doing. We got to sit down and have supper. Like I grew up having supper, and we started doing that. We weren't always good about it because it's not easy.
Right.
When we started doing it, I can remember I would go around the table. All right, what was the best part of your day? My wife was my daughter, maybe she did an art project thing. Maybe my son maybe only got trouble twice at school or something, you know. But every time it came to me, every time, the best part of my day was sitting at that table with those 3 people.
Yeah.
And the 4 of us just sharing a meal. I mean, nothing beats it.
See, I love hearing you talk about that because I want to do those things. I haven't gotten to do those things yet,
Well,
but like
it's coming. What are you, 32?
34.
34? I was 36 when my daughter was born, so you're
Really?
right on time.
Okay.
I was 40 when my son was born. Well, you're good.
Okay, so yeah,
I was
I'm
the
good
old
then.
dad.
I'm good.
I'm still the old dad. He's 21.
Well, it's just one of those like I don't know. I'm starting to look at things differently, and I haven't even gotten into that stage of life yet, you know. But it's having a set time when you go to eat, or having a regular place like this that you go. The fact that Holloman's name is on several of these, and you can come back and see like what was their handwriting like back then, or
His is terrible. He's 21. He still writes like a 3rd grader. She's got great handwriting. I used to think it'd be really cool to be a young dad, and I was, I'd lost my dad when I was 6. And even as like a 15-year-old, 15-year-olds guys don't want to be a dad. I can remember thinking, man, I can't wait till I'm a dad. I thought it'd be cool to be a young dad. Well, the way it worked out, I was, like I said, 36.
Yeah.
But when you look back at it, I'd done everything I wanted to do. I couldn't, because once that time comes, that's the most important job. I've got a lot of job titles.
Yeah.
Most important job title I have is dad. Most important job I'll ever have. It didn't happen young, and I didn't have oats to sow. I had traveled. My wife and I had done, we were probably dated 5 years. Then we got married, and we were married 5 years before we had kids. So we had done everything we wanted to do.
Right.
Commit to the kids, and it's worked out so far.
That's what McConaughey says in his book, all he ever wanted to be was a dad. I was the same way, but I wouldn't have been ready young either. So it's like, it's one of those like, you want to rush into things because you want them now and you're impatient, but just
it's going to happen.
Everything happens on a timeline, and I'm not in charge of that timeline.
There you go.
Man, this is delicious.
Well, you can just have fun practicing in the meantime. So.
I'm good at practice.
Yeah.
Well, man, this has been great sitting down and getting to do this. This is, we got to do this again.
Dude, I'm ready.
Only question is, where next?
We have to think about that. I've got a list, though. Man, we'll just knock the list out.
Yep, checking boxes.
Yep.